Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Brad, and finally, welcome to the park tour video of Breakwater Point. That's right, it's all said and done, and we're getting ready to go take a look and a stroll through the park that I've been working on for, well, pretty much since the game dropped. So, what is that now? 7-8 months, give or take, something like that. But it's finally here. I'm finally done, and we're gonna go take a quick tour. Firstly, I would like to apologize because obviously it took me longer to get this video out than originally thought it was going to. I did take a mini break from Planet Coaster just so I could put some time into some other things in my real life that weren't Planco related, and I just needed a small break, kind of reset, ignite my love for the game. Not that I didn't love the game, but kind of just started to feel too much like work. I know that this is my first series, and I haven't really created too much content for in the grand scheme of things, but I felt like I was putting these unachievable deadlines and requirements on myself for this, and it was just kind of taking away some of the joy of the game. So wanted to take a little step back and do some other stuff and kind of get back into enjoying the game and actually wanting to do this. So we're here, we're going to check it out. As you can see, I've just been kind of strolling through the main what do you even call this? What's the word? It's escaping me. You guys know what I mean. Plaza area. Jeez Louise, it's been a while since I've done this. Main plaza near the front entrance of the park. To the right is Tsunami Bay. To the left is Volcano Valley. We are going to start with Volcano Valley. I'll tour Tsunami Bay at the end of the video just because I don't really plan on doing any of the water slides or anything like that. Hang 10 and the River Rapids are in there, which we'll check out, but we can save those till the end. So we're going to start over here in Volcano Valley, which is the more like amusement park style area of the park, whereas Tsunami Bay is obviously the water park. So pass through the big mountain, and we're greeted by the Scream Dial and the big Ferris wheel. The Scream Dial does a really nice swing over some of the scenery here. Gets you some nice close calls. And then right next door is our first coaster of the day, Shrieking Tiki. This was the second coaster I built in the series, but it's going to be the first one we check out today just because of the way we're touring the park, and that's totally cool. Wooden coaster inspired by GCI coasters out there in the world. Not like any in particular, but I just kind of something that I feel like they might do with the airtime and the snappy transitions and whatnot. I do have the full on, oh my goodness, we are lagging hard. I apologize. We do have the full cattle pen style queue line. We're not going to go through there. We do have our fast passes today, so we don't have to stand in line. Work before we head to the coaster. So there's our Chief Beef restaurant. Nothing crazy, but the next series will have more detailed interiors now that we have the restaurants and everything in the game. To our left, you can see, actually we'll go check that out before we hop in the fast lane. I got this nice little seating area here, which gives you a really nice vantage point for Hang 10 cruising by when it passes through its water feature element. And just a nice little place to chill while maybe you didn't want to ride Shrieking Tiki, so you're waiting for everybody else to enjoy the ride and meet up back with you. So here we are at the Fast Pass lane, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to head up there, and we're going to take a POV ride on our first coaster of the day, the Wooden GCI Shrieking Tiki. All right, so that was Shrieking Tiki, our first coaster of the day, and honestly, I gotta say it's a pretty good one to start the day out with. Lots of thrills, some good airtime, lots of snappy transitions. Um, Nothing like totally extreme, but just enough to really kind of get the adrenaline flowing and get you ready for the rest of the rides and the rest of the day at the park. Um, Definitely one of my top coasters in the park. I don't know if I would put it in. It might be top five, but it's close to top five. There are 15 coasters in the park, so I think it might be kind of fun to do like a rating at the end of my favorite coasters. And I do know that Shrieking Tiki is definitely up there. I don't necessarily want to say it's top five, but you never know. It could be. It's also one of the few rides in the park that actually has some triggered events on it, which it's kind of hard to see when you're actually riding the coaster. But if we stood here, we might be able to see it go by and get a quick look at some of the pyro. So let's hang on real tight and see if we can see that. Woo! Fire effect! Yeah! Sorry, I know it's not the most grand of events, but hey, it works. So, all right, let's keep moving on then. Kind of headed around the back side of Shrieking Tiki. As I was building the park, like I mentioned, this isn't really going to be a high traffic, highly visited area. There really isn't much going on, but nice little picnic area, some restaurants and drink stuff, and some bathrooms. Just a way to kind of get out of the hustle bustle main drags of the park and take a little breather if you need to. It's also a nice little kind of shortcut, maybe, I guess. I don't know if it would necessarily be a shortcut, but another way to get to our next roller coaster or two. I did finish out that backstage area over there. It's not really anything too crazy, and we're not going to go back that way, just to keep with the idea and the illusion that we are guests in the park, so we wouldn't be going back there anyway, but it does live there, adding that extra little bit of realism to the build. So here we are. We are approaching Lava Racer. This would be the main entry right here for the queue. But again, we've got our fast pass, so we're not going to deal with that. We're going to go up past the sign here and get in the fast pass line and take our ride. So we'll go ahead and hop in, and we'll catch you back here in just a second and enjoy your ride on Lava Racer. All right, so there we have it. That was our Intamin family style multi launch coaster Lava Racer. Oh, okay, it's getting ready to leave the station again. Rounding it into the first launch. Bye bye. Sorry. I wish my frame rates were running a little bit higher, but I think it's because I'm running through OBS and playing at Coaster at the same time, and they're just fighting for power between each other. So I apologize that it's so chuggy, but there really isn't much I can do as far as that goes, but kind of sacrificing frame rate at this point for better sound quality. Oh, there we go. Good timing. Oh, can we see it around the... I'll have to watch it through the don't die fencing, maybe. I don't know if we'll get there in time. Maybe we'll get there in time for the second train, so we'll do that. Let's head down the exit ramp here. See if we can go get a vantage point of the coaster going around its pyro. We'll check out the Skyway Cafe area here while we do that as well. Got a looming Shrieking Tiki drop hill over. Nice little shade provided by the coaster there. Anyways, don't really know what I'm talking about. All right, so here is the Skyway Cafe. It is built into the station of the cable cars, which I was really enjoying doing that. I thought that was a cool element to have in the park. And I just really like the way it turned out. I think it looks pretty good. Gives you a nice another little seating area here next to the flat ride. You can get a good, better view of the Ferris wheel there. Don't know. Thought we had a vantage point of the volcano for Lava Racer. Yeah, we do. Okay. So again, we'll kind of... I mean, it's not a great vantage point, I guess, but we can stand here for a second and see if we can see the pyro go off for Lava Racer. Woo! Big fire. Lots of fire for this one. Cool. All right, again, nothing too crazy, so thanks for standing there waiting for me. All right, so moving on. Skyway Cafe. I like this little area. I think it's kind of chill and cozy. Lots of big trees in the coaster, giving you lots of shade from the sun. And now we're kind of moving back through the main path, the one that would probably be more heavily foot trafficked. Oh my god, I can't even say. This would have more foot traffic in it than the other side, which we were just coming from, but that's okay. Looks like we've got the park to ourselves today. Anyway, VIP today. Moving along. You can see the Grand Palms chilling in the distance back that way. I'm still really, really liking the way the hotel turned out. Maybe we'll take another quick gander at that during this video. We can go through the hotel guest entry, take a look at that. Towards the end, maybe that's how we can go into the water park through there. We'll do that. So... moving this way, this was the first build in the park where after I discovered the trick of flipping the flowers over to have like a mulch type effect. Can I get in there? No, it's not going to let me. It's not going to let me stand through these enormous fences, but you can kind of see the mulch in there. These fences are a lot larger than I thought they were going to be. That's what she said. We'll use scaling next time for sure, but yeah, I really liked that little trick and ended up using it quite a few more times throughout the park. Quick look in here, nothing too crazy inside. Again, like I said, I did some basic trim work, but nothing too over the top. The future builds moving on will have more invested into the interiors now that we can actually build the restaurants and whatnot. So yeah, let's trying to decide which way I want to go next. I think we'll hang a left because we can't really get to that part of the park from anywhere else. So we'll just go visit that next after we check out the Good Nice Cookout, which is our big grab and go unit. Lots of food, lots of drinks, as well as my shout outs to friends in the Good Nice community, which I guess we can go take a quick look at those again for anybody that missed that episode. Starting over here in the Caffeine Corner Cafe, we got Ginge Bowl, Yenergy drinks, Uma's coffee. We got some Shane's soda, some Dr. Fuero soda, Death Fears soda, Cockers Cola. Shout out Cockers. Jammy Slices, Big Philly's Pizza, some Zangri Sushi. Dolga Dogs, Winterburgers, and of course we've got the Relly Sliders to my main dude, Relly. Sorry, not able to get everybody in there. I just kind of started picking names and throwing them on there. They weren't really done in any particular order, so if you didn't make it this time, don't worry, I'll throw you some shout outs in future builds. Got to include everybody the best I can. So that is a good, nice cookout. We got the surfboarding shark. Don't usually put the mascots in my parks, but this guy was like an obvious choice. He had to go in. I like sharks and he's surfing, so he fits perfectly. That's the Breakwater Great White right there, which I just named on the fly. I'm so cool. Psych! Oh my god. Picnic area. There's a lot of picnic and seating areas in this park. I don't know if maybe I'm just not filling space in well enough, but kind of didn't have a whole lot to do in a lot of areas. So there is a lot of seating. Maybe that's something I can take and learn in future builds, is kind of condense and get stuff a little bit closer, because there's a lot of empty space in this park, I guess is what I'm going to say. I'd like to say breathing room, but it really is just empty space. But anyways, on the horizon, you can see the next coaster that we are approaching. It is our record breaker. Yes, our record-breaking Giga Coaster, Skybreaker. Now, like I said in that episode, technically speaking, maybe it's not the world's tallest Giga Coaster, but we're only considering traditional style coasters with lifts and full circuits, so no launches, none of those quick little, up a hill, down a hill, it's done. Nothing against Top Thrill or Kingdom Ka or anything like that, but we're going to call this the tallest traditional style Giga Coaster. Not only the tallest, but the fastest as well. So Breakwater Point beat out Carowinds and Fury 325 when they put in Skybreaker. So we're going to go take a ride on the record-holding Giga. Let's do it. All right, here we are at the fast lane. So let's go ahead and hop online and go take our ride on Skybreaker. See you back here in just a second. I don't know if some of the layout really makes a lot of sense, like realistic wise, like with the areas where you're low to the ground, just hauling 360 helixes. I don't even know what I would call that at an extreme bank, but you know what? It's a game. It's fun. I wanted to throw something extra in there so it wasn't just a series of airtime and it's done. I wanted to really extend the ride so you could fully appreciate the speed and the size of the ride. But yeah, uh, not a whole lot else going on in this area. Like I was just saying, there's a lot of empty space, wasted space, I guess. Like I was saying in the park, but I have this tendency to only build top down and not really go ground level when I'm building. So moving forward, I will definitely take that into consideration a lot more so that we don't spend as much time just walking down empty paths with not a lot to look at. I mean, obviously, there's trees and shade, and the park is big, so it's got a lot of expanse to it, and there really isn't as much in the game to put in there yet. I already repeated flat rides more than once in the park, and I didn't want to keep doing that. And there's only so many static rides I could really bring myself to make, but you know, still, this was my testing park just to get a vibe for the game, but I think I know how I'm going to do things moving forward a little differently to kind of avoid some of these issues again. So we have the Skybreaker gift shop here, kind of out of the way. This would be closer to the actual exit line so people know it's here, but like I said, there really isn't a whole lot of detailing and trim work on the inside, so that's basically that for now. Future builds will have more going on, that's for sure. And then just a nice little, yet again, another picnic slash like plaza area to just kind of sit and relax, take a breather. It's kind of out of the way, so I doubt a lot of people would be sitting here, though it does offer a cool vantage point of that area of the coaster I was just talking about. So maybe get some people back here to sit and watch. It does have the flat ride here as well that would probably draw some foot traffic to the area, and probably not a lot, but some people would probably still make their way up here. So if you go based off the lore of what I was saying in earlier episodes of this series, the park might not be super old, so they do have space to expand and update and add new rides as they find fit. So maybe one of these days down the road, I'll go in and retrofit some of these more empty areas with different attractions and coasters or whatever, but we'll see. I got too many other things going on to really do that, but you never know. All right, so let's keep moving on. I guess doubling back isn't that big of a deal because there was another little restaurant type thing I need to do a shout out for. I did not mean to miss it the first time, so my apologies ahead of time to the boys at Beer Room Brawl. But here is the BRB Tap Room. Of course, we would have to have our own brewery in the park. Why wouldn't we? So, shout out to my brothers for life, Matt, Maestro, Big Daddy Dirk, and Nags, I guess, from time to time. Why not? He's in there too. All right, so that brings us to the entrance for our next coaster, Firewalker. It is our Mac Extreme Spinning Coaster. So let's go ahead and hop in the fast lane, and we'll see you on the other side. different. Oh, we're gonna fall. Two different POVs for you, just because it is a spinning coaster. I feel like you kind of have to ride that one in seat view, which normally I don't like to do. I like the bumper view because it does offer a smoother ride, but I guess sitting in the actual coaster is definitely more realistic, and it makes more sense for a ride like that where part of the experience is the way you ride in the train. And of course, spinning coaster, you got to experience the spin, otherwise what's the point of making it a spin coaster? So I think we'll go ahead and do that for the wing coaster as well, which, you know what, I guess we can just go ahead and head that way now. Gonna end up doubling back for getting gnarly anyway, one way or the other. So let's just double back this way again, and we'll head towards our B&M wing coaster, Razor Wing. Actually, while we're here, let's go ahead and take a minute to just kind of appreciate the fact that this is fully custom supported. It might not be totally realistic, but it looks functioning and practical, so I'm happy with it, and I really like the way it turned out. I do like doing... I shouldn't say I like it. I do and I don't like doing custom supporting. It kind of depends on the ride and the location and the layout. But this one, surprisingly, was pretty quick and easy to do. Unlike most of them where it can be just a really complicated process that nobody likes to do. But I actually enjoyed doing it for this one. So I try and do that more in the future with other rides as well. We make our way around the far side here. You get a nice vantage point of Firewalker, going through some of its elements through here. You also get a good shot of the hammerhead, the big swing. And you can check out the sign for Razor Wing. It was one of the first ones that I did like a full custom sign for in the park. I don't know why I spelled it the way I did, but I don't know. I think it's cool. It gives it a nice extreme kind of vibe, I guess. I don't know. Don't listen to me. Look at that. Fast lane for Razor Wing so I can stop sounding dumb. All right. I'll see you back here in just a couple minutes after we take 2 POVs on this one as well. All right, and that was Razor Wing. Lots of close calls on that one, all the keyholes, and doesn't really feel like most wing coasters out there, I don't think. It's way more compact and close to the ground than what I think they usually are. Kind of handles more like a old school stand up or floorless, but still a cool ride nonetheless. I like it. I like the way it turned out, especially with the custom supports. I did go through the exit, but I cut all it out because we were just doubling back past Firewalker and Hammerhead again. So I just kind of cut to this point where we've got another fancy little restaurant. Don't know why I added this door. It's like a Viking door. It really doesn't fit with the rest of the theme, but yeah, just for to break it up a little bit so it's not so samey. Again, there's some detailing on the inside and some basic trim. Nothing too complicated. Not yet anyway, but just figured I'd pop in so you could take a look at that. And a nice set of bathrooms right here on the corner. A little bit more of an open breather as we venture close to our next hell of a coaster. This one is a doozy. Just look at that. Look at that. Wow. Again, more custom supporting throughout the entirety of the ride. And Hyperadigm is just a brute. This one was a lot of fun to build too, and I really like the way it turned out. Just plus, look at that for just a thumbnail right there. That looks so good, man. All right, I could stand there and drool at that all day, but let's actually go get on here and experience it for ourselves. This kind of little plaza area was something I was trying to go with, and like to build like a history or a lore for the park a little bit more. The way it's laid out almost made it feel like Hyperadigm went in place of some previous existing rides because of the way the footpath is kind of broken apart, and you can go in a circular motion with the two flat rides over here kind of anchoring each other. We have the cube. Lots of nice scenery. And then the forge over here. And if you just, continue around the circle, it almost looks like where Hyperadigm sits should have been another set of flat rides, but obviously they either relocated them or just throw them down altogether so that they could make right for the new roller coaster. But as we shoot across, you'll see that where the flat ride should be is now Hyperadigm's like little gift shop type thing, and as well as part of the queue line. This little purple flat ride could have been one of them, and it just kind of got its position shifted a little bit. I mean, I guess technically it still could be in its original spot, but it's a much smaller ride than the other two, so it's almost like there was something else here, and then they replaced it with this one to make more space. Still while keeping a ride option here for guests to enjoy. But yeah, just part of the lore and the history of the park, just to add a little bit more depth to it. Hyperadigm's loading station and shop are pretty minimalist, but it's kind of the style I was going for. I wanted like a big menacing, like brutalistic style build, just concrete and pillar, like steel pillars and whatever. So that's kind of what we went with. It's super boring on the inside. There's like nothing going on. Wasn't really my intention, but I was just rushing at that point to get done. A lot of reasoning like I was talking about earlier. So either way, we are in the fast lane. So let's go ahead and cut to it. And we will see you back here in just a minute after we ride Hyperadigm. was High Paradigm. Again, probably one of my top 5 coasters in the park. Just big, gnarly, lots of variety in elements and custom elements as well as the custom supporting. And I really like the way it turned out. I think this last chunk here with the trench run and stuff might be a little hard on the laterals, especially just before hitting the final brake run. But, again, it's a game. It doesn't have to be 100% real all the time. It still provided a cool experience to watch. So that's that. And I'm sticking to it. We are going to double back again a little bit so that we can get gnarly. But then after that, I think we're pretty much done with the doubling back. We can full circle around the back side of the park and hit the last half of coasters. I can't even remember how many we've looked at now. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? So we're just about almost halfway through the coasters, so not too bad. I don't think I talked about this when I did the last couple update videos, but I did just do this little like long cabin gazebo style picnic area. Nothing really special, but I don't remember talking about that in the last episodes, but that's there now. It went in when I was doing all the final touch-up stuff. So, walk back this way just a little bit so we can go to Get Gnarly. Check out the flat rides and stuff on the way there, like the boardwalk thing, or not boardwalk, board slide, which is a cool ride. I don't want to ride it in real life because it'll make me nauseous, and I hate that. As well as the big drop tower, Don't Look Down. We've got I can't remember what I called it, like the lookout patio or something up here, where you can go sit up and get off the main path and watch some people, do some people watching, watch some of the coasters and other rides go by, and sit and enjoy yourself a little bit off of the main high. Oh my god, I can't talk. Gonna cut to the next coaster. See you in just a second. Okay, so I'm really starting to think that that's part of the reason too why it took me so long to get this video out, because honestly, I don't know how to make a park tour video. Especially in a park that is this large with so many empty areas. I feel like I don't have anything to say and I ramble, but it'll get better. This is still my first one, so trial and error, but we are here at Get Gnarly, so I will see you back here pretty quick because this is a short, quick ride. So enjoy. See you back in just a second. All right, so that was our RMC single rail Get Gnarly. I've said it before, but I really wish that they would give us an actual single rail where it's like single row seating, and do something with, I don't know if it's the physics of the game or the camera, but I mean, these rides in real life, they are so intense, fast, and snappy, whereas this game kind of makes them look slowed down a bit. I don't know if that's because of how thick the track is, and in real life, it's much thinner. I mean, I know this is supposed to be kind of like the T-Rex model rather than the Raptor, the T-Rex being the double-seater and the wider track. But I really wish they would give us the actual single seating, thin track, and do something about making it look far more wicked and intense than what it actually is in the game. But either way, I still like the single rails. I like building them. I know a lot of people don't, but it's one of my favorites to build. And yeah, that's my spiel on Planet Coaster single rails. As we open up into this huge picnic plaza area where you get all kinds of vantage points of Skybreaker and really get a feel for just how immense the coaster is. You can sit next to the trench run for it and watch people fly by at over 100 miles per hour and just, yeah, scream. This is also a fun area that I really enjoy because it does have shout outs to some of my kids. We've got Lily's malt shop here where you can go in and grab some ice cream or a malt shake or a slushie. And next door to that, we have Zach's Burger Shack. The kid loves cheeseburgers, hamburgers, everything burger. So naturally, he has to get his burger restaurant. So after you sugar coma at Lily's, you can go next door and balance it out with some salt and protein and get yourself a delicious burger. And if burgers aren't really your thing, which sometimes they're not mine, but mine is always a go-to, is tacos. And Atomic Taco, even though we have to say rest in peace to it locally, it can live on forever in my park. Man, I still wish we had Atomic because I could go for some birria tacos right now and it would just make life so much greater. Next door to that, we've got the Gulpy International. It's like the Gulpy gift shop. Think of like your Coke gift shops at Cedar Point or whatever. Same thing, same concept. As well as some more picnic. Oh no. All right. There's got to be a way for me to turn that off so that doesn't keep happening. I think it happened to me a couple times during the build parts of the series as well, but oh well. Like I said, another really nice vantage point for Skybreaker. You can really get a feel for how fast it's cooking, especially when it's this low to the ground. Just a really cool photo op shot or chance there too as well. Get a nice vantage point of getting gnarly as well. If it was an actual single rail, you could see it just whipping through there so much faster than what it really does, but it's okay. I will get over it sooner or later, but pretty long pass, so we're just going to keep kind of strolling, and I will cut to the next thing that I think you need to see. It's really good timing because that is definitely the next thing that we need to see. And what a good vantage point for it, too. As we make our way to Riptide, we can see it in full tilt getting ready to drop. Let's just let's stand back and really appreciate the thrill that would just give anybody in the park at any given time. Why am I just stop talking. Stop talking, Bread. Let's watch it. Did it break? There it goes. Whee! I thought we were going to have a Siren's Curse moment for a second here. Oof. I'm not going to venture down that road, but kind of thought that's where we were headed for a second. Let's hope it doesn't. Let's make our way over to the fast lane and go take a ride on Riptide, shall we? Another pretty simple ride sign. I didn't really go too crazy with those in this park. I didn't really do anything crazy in the park, actually. I'm saying that, but I cannot really get over how tall these fences are. I don't think I need to make them that big anymore, but well, like I said, hindsight. We'll fix that in the next one. But we are here at the fast lane, so we are going to go hop in line and take a ride on our Vekoma Tilt Coaster, Riptide, and hopefully we don't get stuck in the tilt. For those of you who have watched most of the buildup of this series, at least the episode featuring Riptide, uh, you might have noticed that the POVs look quite a bit different. Well, that's because since I did that initial video with the Riptide going in, I did change up the layout a little bit. Let me just pop out of the first person here. So let me just really quickly here. This bit here is new. So actually, this is perfect timing. Where the coaster is now was new. Originally, I just did like a little weird Outer Bank airtime hill into the brake run, but now it has another upward inversion into the turnaround. Almost kind of doubles as like a mid-course brake because it slows the train down quite a bit into this last little dive here under itself into the new modified outward bank air hill. It's a little bit smoother, less jank. It comes back down through again into one final inversion straight into the brake run. So that is new since I did the original video of this ride. In case you didn't notice, if you did, good on you. If not, well, now you know. So that's the updated Riptide. So let's go ahead and cut to POV again, and we'll continue on into the park. All right, so we're continuing again, like we just another really nice vantage point for Skybreaker. I mean, this whole side of the park, you see it pretty much everywhere you're at, and it just looks so good. The custom supports giving a lot of room to breathe just makes it look that much cooler, in my opinion. I don't know, especially when you have the volcano prop piece kind of with Skybreaker in the background. That just makes for a nice shot right there. I like that. We have that bad boy to go to next. So let's keep on trucking, and we'll make our way over to Luska. As we come around the backside of Riptide here, be able to see like the maintenance area that I did. And I really don't, I'm not a huge fan of how much empty space is in the park. I mean, I guess that might not be a terrible thing. It wouldn't feel so claustrophobic, but at the same time, it's a lot of space that could have been better utilized, I think. But again, like I said, I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that there was so much limitation to the game in the beginning. There still kind of is, but we need some more stuff to start putting in the parks, and then these empty spaces wouldn't be as problematic, at least for me. But you know, hindsight again. But moving forward, we've learned a lot from this park, so moving forward, the new ones here on out should be able to fill the space in a lot better, less, empty areas, but whatever. We are now officially on the boardwalk, and we are going to hang a left right here, go over the bridge so we can cross underneath the massive custom support structures for Luska. Woo! That was a terrible Ric Flair. Woo! That is terror. Just going to stop. Ignore me, please. We're passing underneath the custom supports. I put this little sign in. I was going to do a few of them throughout the line to kind of do like a little bit of lore, just so you could kind of understand better what Luska is, because it is a Caribbean sea monster folklore type thing. We're supposed to be like part shark, part octopus, but I mean, obviously, I'm sure not a lot of people know that. So that's why I put the sign, Leviathan rises from the abyss to feed. I was going to continue with that throughout the queue line, and I just never got around to it. I think that pretty much says what it needs to. I might end up taking it out because I think that's kind of, it just feels really out of place right here like that. So actually, you know what? And it's gone. It didn't really fit. I had the idea, didn't follow through with it, so it's gone. Whatever. Let's go hop in the fast lane, and let's go take a ride on our just absolutely insane RMC Luska. Catch you back here in a couple minutes. right, so that was Luska, and holy cow, that's at least top 3 of my favorite coasters in the park, if not more. That one is so relentless. Lots of good elements. I feel like the pacing is pretty good too. It's not overly filled with inversions. I think it's got a good amount of inversions and airtime, and the snappy transitions all kind of mixed together. And the custom supports really add that much more element to it as well, especially when you're going through the stall. You get a lot of hang time in that. But yeah, Luska, big boy RMC, easily top 3 coasters in the park, if not more. But we'll get to that at the end and see where it ranks up amongst the coasters. So we're headed back down. We'll cross our bridge again, and we'll go check out the boardwalk. Then after the boardwalk, I think is the family-friendly area, Splash Landing, and then a couple more coasters after that, followed up by the water park. So still got quite a bit to go check out, so let's just keep on trucking. So over here we got the Sand Dune Market, gift shop. I was gonna try and get a little bit more involved in the interior work with this one. Like you can see, I kind of started building it up with the little, what do they call that? Tuk-tuk or something like that. The little 3-wheeled truck guy, but I got pulled away and never really went back in and finished it, but that's okay. At least I'm consistent with what I did in the stores and stuff. We got the boardwalk sushi with the little inflatable fishies on the top. Again, nothing too crazy with the trim in here. Grab some sushi on the boardwalk. I was going to go through and drop all these little swinging signs in throughout the park, but again, I needed to just step away, and I didn't end up doing as many of the small details as I thought I was going to, but it's okay. As you can see, I'm already kind of struggling with the frame rate anyway, so I think we pretty much reached what I needed to do with the park as far as adding stuff. Live and learn, but we'll keep on cruising down. I did drop another Slice Life in here. That's just going to be a reoccurring restaurant in my parks. We got Rocket Slush, so a nice little like slushy stand. Some more grab and go units. This boardwalk is pretty big, but being that it's all uncovered like this, I don't know how popular it would be. You'd be getting a lot of exposure to the sun. It'd probably be pretty hot, but at least you're on the water. Kind of a cool variation of places to chill. And I mean, come on. Check out that view of Luska as it goes flying through its elements that you can sit back and watch. You've got the water just kind of like framing it for you. Like that's a cool spot to chill. I mean, you're not right up next to the coaster, but you really get to take it all and see it for how big and crazy the ride really is. So I like that shot too. Java the Hut, the joke name for the coffee shop, never changed it. It stays Java the Hut from now on. That's what it is called. Some bathroom blocks, and then the big swinging chair ride that I'll never ride in my life ever because that's sketchy. And that's the boardwalk. So keep on moving on, and we'll go check out. Oh, I did call that one Solar Wind, and I did put a little basic sign in. I don't think that was in the last time we talked about that. Before we head down to Splash Landing and Cowabunga and all those, let's go circle back here real quick so we can show you the go-kart track. And I think that's pretty much all we missed on this side. Some more seating, that big hammer swing, kind of more swingity swing thing, swinger, or Samsonite. I was way off. How far into this video am I at this point? Because I feel like I've kind of started to lose it. Cut to the go-karts! right, those were the go-karts, and as you can see, I did a quick cut over to the next area just to kind of save you guys some boring, what are we doing? This is what are we looking at, ma kind of thing. And obviously you can tell my brain is starting to go to mush. So let's hop up here real quick and look at this little elevated area. So if you get on the cable car ride on the other side of the park, you get plopped down over here, which actually I really like this little cozy little elevated area with the wild blue ride and the overlook for Cowabunga. Just a nice chill little spot. Not a whole lot going on up here, so it probably wouldn't be super busy. So it'd be a nice spot to come get away for a little bit, just take a breather, have some quiet time. Seems like a good place for like a little family picnic. There is the little gift shop in here, which, again, the interiors didn't really get much done to them, but I just like the shape and the way the building kind of flows. Ooh, ignore those. Not fully detailed, obviously, but that's okay. I just really like the structure and the shape of this building and its positioning along the water. We get the nice vantage point of the last little chunk of Cowabunga, so you get up close with the water effects, which is nice. Yeah, like I said, I just feel like this is kind of a nice little chill spot. It wouldn't be super busy, kind of quiet, so you can come take a little break. So that's that. Let's head back down to the main level and we'll go check out Splash Landing. One of the entrances to Splash Landing, not that it's like it's a separate area, but it just needed its own little kind of personality to let you know it's like a different type area, but or something, I don't know. This whole section here is bathrooms. That's why it's all kind of closed off looking, but I really like the way that this area turned out. It's very bright, very fun. Obviously, it'd be super inviting to kids and family. We've got the Sugar Wave, so you can come in here and get all loaded up full of ice cream and candy. Exactly what your little kids need when they're smack dab in the middle of a theme park, already driving you nuts. But, you know, kids like their sweet treats, so they can come to Sugar Wave and get that. If brave parents only. A little gift shop over here. I did end up trying to deck the insides out a little bit better in here. So they got some like the pipe duct work for some scenery, some toys. And still not a whole lot going on, but more than what some of the other places have had. You can buy a surfboard because that's exactly what everybody wants to carry around a theme park with them. And here we are at one of the main attractions of the Splash Landing, and that's the Wild Maverick, named after my wild child, Maverick. It is a wooden coaster. I kind of built it to feel a little bit jank, like it was older. It's not the most thrilling ride in the park, but it's okay. We need a smaller scaled rides for some of the family and young kids. We're going to hop in our fast lane here, and we will go take a ride on, and I'll catch you back here in just a minute. All right, and that was the Wild Maverick. Like I said, it's a smaller, more tame ride, family oriented. It's kind of rough, a little bit jank in some areas, but I kind of did that by design. I wanted it to feel a little rough, a little bit older, kind of give you more of a wild ride, kind of feel like you're gonna fall out. Thing might fall apart when you're on it, that kind of vibe. But anyways, that was the Wild Maverick. I'm going to go ahead and quick cut back over to where we were since, once again, the exit has me doubling back. So fast forward. This is still Splash Landing, obviously. We've got the continued theme. Over here to the left is my first ever Planet Coaster career, either the first or the second game, doing a playground. Really happy with the way it turned out. I think it looks really good, but it's not going to let me go in there. Oh, no. Well, I guess we'll just use our imagination. I was kind of showing it off during that episode, but yeah, I really like the way it turned out. Way heavier on the piece count than I had ever imagined, but I think it adds a cool element to the park. I like having some static attractions. Even though they'd never be used in the actual game by the guests, it still adds that extra bit of realism and life to the park. So moving on, let's go check out the rest of Splash Land. All right, and then over here to our right, we've got the Nautical Cafe, which has a little bit more trim work and detailing on the inside than the other parts, but I was just kind of pressing for time when I was working on the other parts, so they didn't get as detailed. This still isn't even overly detailed really either, but it is what it is. It does have this little like walkthrough where I tried to make it look like you were walking through or underwater. The water effect didn't really turn out the way I wanted it to, but that's okay. Come back outside. Over to the left here is like our little kiddie splash pad thing. Nothing too crazy, just some fountains to run around in and play in. And got some animatronics with the eels. This little centerpiece isn't anything too crazy, but it does... Oh, good timing. It's got the big splash effect that goes off periodically. And then the whole thing is kind of outlined by some shade and some benches for parents to sit on while the kids play, splash, get out of the sun. Yeah, just a cool little place for some littler kids to come cool off, get out of the sun for a little bit, have a good time. So, gonna keep on keeping on. Oh, there's one of our effects. Woo, octopus. And then we are approaching one of the other static attractions that I built in the park, and it is the, let's see if I can get a better view in front. Is the rock climbing wall, which I thought turned out kind of cool. It's got all the different skill levels. Oh my gosh, sorry, frame rates. Different levels for different skills and abilities. As you can see, the far right would be the most extreme and the far left would be the easiest. A little bit of everything for age groups and whatever. So provides different challenges and some fun activity that's not a roller coaster or your typical flat ride. The magic carpet, I think, is what that's called there. And then that leads us to our second coaster of the area, Ripley's Sea Dragon. So let's go ahead. We're going to hop into the fast lane for this one and see you back here in just a second. All right, so that was the kiddie ride Ripley Sea Dragon. Lots of cool scenery on that one. I like the way the water caves and everything turned out on it. I think it looks pretty good. But yeah, moving along. This is our other static attraction in the area that I built. It's like one of those extreme rope courses. Lots of different obstacles to traverse with the cable above you. Let's go. Stop freezing. Sorry. Different obstacles to traverse with the ropes, and yeah, just like again, kind of like the rock wall and the playground. It's just something else to kind of draw some people into the area and give them a different experience outside of roller coasters and whatever. So yeah. And then in the original, I don't remember if I talked about this, but in the original episode for this part of the park, I had that extra sketchy style Ferris wheel where like the carriages actually move and slide down rails and stuff. I took that out and put in the smaller traditional Ferris wheel because I think that would just be better for the kids. So can't remember if I'd said that, but I did it now. So yeah, that is Splash Landing pretty much in a nutshell. And then we're gonna have to double back over here just for a second. The main path, we have Cowabunga, our intimate multi-launch coaster. As we all know, this is one of my favorites in the park. Just really like this one, but let's go ahead and we're going to actually, you know what? Pause for the cause. All right, so I just wanted to pop into Skyview real quick, or actual game view. That way we could take a look at the loading station a little better because I really like how this one turned out. The nice elevation off the main path. Very open and lots of air in this one. It's not a traditional just boxy station like a lot of the stations ended up being in this one. Very cool. I like it a lot, especially with the bridges for both the queue and the exit lane. But yeah, I just wanted to take a second and really admire this one again. I just really like the way it turned out with the black and green color palette as well. The surfboards, even the slightly elevated maintenance bay, and then you can see the tunnel for the second launch underneath the station a little better. But yeah, I really like the way this one turned out. I think it looks pretty good. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a ride on Cowabunga and join you back here in just a second. All right, and that was Cowabunga. Still one of my favorite coasters in this park. I'm sorry for the frame rates. I know it really just kind of hinders the experience, but that is still one of my favorite layouts and coasters in the park. I think it turned out really good. Obvious inspirations from Maverick and Velocicoaster, and I really like that one. It turned out really good, and it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm an Intamin fanboy or nothing, but just absolutely love that ride and like the way it turned out a lot. But we already doubled back through here. There really isn't much to look at, so let's fast forward and meet you at the next part. All right, and here we are at our swinging ship that I named Scuttle. A little plaza area here before kind of going over into this back corner. Not a whole lot going on here. It seems almost kind of like a dead space part of the park, but it is what it is. I started kind of running out of steam at this point, but nobody needs to hear that from me. But let's continue on over to this back corner. The corner of the park that really just kind of happened. I never really planned on this being here, but it started taking shape, and I just ran with it. Managed to squeeze in that last coaster that I wasn't expecting that we're crossing under now. The Aero Looping Coaster, which interacts with the pathway quite a bit back here. So it does actually give this area some real life feel, and like it was supposed to be in the park all along, and it wasn't just a last minute add-on by my part. You get a nice shot of both the Aero Looping and the top hat for Cowabunga right there. And gives you a nice sight line looking down the corkscrews, and then it opens up to another big stationary static attraction that I built, which is the big slingshot ride. And I just think it looks really good sitting on the skyline right there when you come around that corner. Not going to talk about that a whole lot because we did look at it in that episode, but it's just part of the area, and I think it really adds to the sight line here. Man, I am so sad with how tall these fences turned out. That is really kind of bugging me because you can't see a lot of the stuff, but live and learn. The bumper cars are right there. We're going to head up here to the fast lane for the Aero Loop Magma Loop, and we'll catch you back here in just a second for a ride. You know, for a ride that I had never had any intention of having in the park and that just kind of feels out of place, I don't think that really turned out all that bad. Usually the Aero Looping coasters are kind of boring. I mean, this one's not, free of that. I think it is still kind of a boring ride. It is not green across the board, but, I think that kind of adds to the realistic nature of those rides because they're never really that exciting. They're pretty rough. I don't know. I have yet to have a good experience on one. Let's just be honest. But it's in the park, adds a little bit more character and diversity to the coaster ride, or the coaster portfolio for it. So yeah, can't complain a whole lot. We got our next grab and go food thing here. Nothing too crazy detail wise. It's just supposed to be a walkthrough stand to come and grab some food and drinks. Get a good shot of Magma Loop as it's going through its big inverted loop there. And just around the corner here, we've got a Cosmic Cow ice cream shop that has the coaster cruising by it. And then we also have another location for Slice Life in the park. which has a nice little seating area outside. You can kind of get a good view of the corkscrews for the loop or the looping coaster, and another pretty good shot of the top hat for Cowabunga. But that about wraps up this area up here. Like I said, we get some nice coaster interaction with Magma Loop over the paths, and it looks really good back here. So like I said, for part of the park that wasn't even originally going to exist, I kind of like how it turned out back here. But let's go ahead and fast forward and meet you at the next part. So here we are. We're about to enter the queue area for Turbo Shark. We get a nice walk by of the gigantic, holy cow. That side is huge. I didn't realize how large it really was until we're from guest view, but that is a very big sign. Probably a whole lot bigger than it really needs to be, but I guess it's a pretty big, impressive ride, so why not have a big, impressive sign? I did make all the font myself, but we did discuss that in the update video for this coaster, so I won't dwell on it a whole lot. We got the Sizzler, oh my gosh. Flat ride thing right there. But yeah, let's hurry up and get to this fast lane for Turbo Shark before I just continue to sound stupid. Let's go take a ride. I'll see you back here in just a second. So, Turbo Shark. Again, that might be one of my favorite coasters in the whole park. That one took a lot of work. Like I said, originally my idea was to have it to be a dueling coaster, and it just wasn't working. It ended up turning into what we just saw, which I think is a really cool layout. The only thing I question is this element right here. Yeah, oh, good timing. That might put some forces on the body that are slightly uncomfortable just with the nature of twisting outward like that with an inline. But, you know, whatever. It's a video game. It's fun. It looks cool. We'll just consider that a legendary element, kind of like the real-life Maverick roll that doesn't exist, that should. But, you know, moving on. Rest in peace, Maverick roll. Big open plaza area here just outside of Tsunami Bay, which we're about to head in. But first, I did want to double back over here real quick because I don't think I talked about this yet. Honestly, at this point, I can't remember what I've already talked about and can't. So if I already talked about this at some point in this video, I apologize. But let's go look at the Bunny and Brad barcade patio thing. when I did the update video for this, I don't remember if it actually had a title or not, but it's the final shout out, Bunny and Bread. It's like a grab and go on the water, but it does have like an exterior arcade, which I think turned out pretty cool. I like to call it a barcade. But you can come in here, you can sit out over the top of the water. You've got a couple options. This is just some seating over here where you can watch High Paradigm, as well as come in here. And we've got a bunch of arcade games that you can play while you eat and drink and watch Hyperia fly, or High Paradigm, sorry, not Hyperia, High Paradigm cruise by. Couple different little patio, not patio, I don't want to say patio. It's like a pier boardwalk type thing because it's over the water, but you just get some really nice, look at that, just some real nice angles of High Paradigm when you're out here. Wow, that's a good screenshot right there. Boom. But yeah, wanted to take a second and talk about this because I can't remember if we had seen it in this part of the video or in this video itself or not. But yeah, let's double back and we're gonna go take a look at Tsunami Bay real quick. I'm not gonna ride any of the slides or anything, like I said, but we'll just do a quick walkthrough, catch a ride on Hang 10 because I'm pretty sure that's our last coaster for the video, and yeah, we'll do some finishing thoughts, and that should be a wrap on the tour video. So let's fast forward and see you there in just a second. Did think about going down this back path here, which leads us to the hotel, but quite honestly, there really isn't anything back there of much interest. So we'll just use our imagination and skip that part for now. But we do want to go ahead and enter Tsunami Bay. So we're entering from the second entry. There is 3 altogether for Tsunami Bay. There's one off the main plaza area. There's this one, and then the hotel guests have an entrance as well. But we're using the big, impressive mountain one that has the river rapids go over it, as well as a bridge. Bridge over the water feature with the tiki spraying some fountain-like water out. We're going to cross paths with a Big Daddy here. And we enter Tsunami Bay, the park's sprawling water park. And right out of the gate, you just see some big water slides. Like that thing would take some time to get to the top of. But, we wanted to have some big, impressive water slides in here. I'm not going to cruise down that way because it's just changing rooms and bathrooms and whatever. Come into our first set of pools here. You can see the hotel looming in the background on the skyline there. Just a nice big pool. Nothing too crazy. This would just be come and swim, do what you want to do, cool off. More water slides over to our left here. They really end up becoming just a tangled mess of slides. You don't really know which one you're getting on because they are all kind of the same color. They all intertwine with each other. But it's a mess. I've never built a water park before. I don't know what I'm doing, or did not know what I was doing, I should say. But it is what it is. There's an exit for some flumes back here. A lot of just tubes and slides galore. It's like Tube City. Michael's Tube City from The Office. That never happened. That should have. We all wanted to see Tube City. The big volcano restaurant thing here that I was going to do up a lot more, but like I said, I started to kind of lose steam and wanted to move on to something else. So it just ended up being a mountain more than a volcano, but it does have the fire effect that comes out of the top every now and then. To the left, even more water slides galore here. We're going to fast forward here real quick and go check out Coral Cove. You know what? Before we hit Coral Cove, I figured I'd stop and grab a drink at the Tipsy Tiki again. But before we hit Coral Cove, we'll go hop on the river rapids here. If you want, go ahead and skip. This is kind of a long one, but figured I'd still show it anyway. I think the water effect glitch is fixed now, hopefully. So with any luck, this will be a better POV than the original one. So catch you back here in a few minutes. So that was the River Rapids. Now, like I said, sorry, it's kind of a boring ride, but it's there. Might as well take a ride on it. Enjoy the scenery for a little bit, cool off, get out of the sun, and just a nice little water ride. But here we are. We are at Coral Cove, which is like the smaller kid family water park within the major water park. I don't know if that's how real life would actually work, but you know, it doesn't have to be real life. It's a video game. Keep saying that. Got lots of water slides like the other areas do. But we also have like this area here for the adults, which I added in. I did talk about this, but it's like a hot tub area. Steam effect in the pools to make it look like little hot tubs. You also can actually like access the sand if you want to sit in there. But just a little corner to come chill and relax while the kids play. And the adults have a little area that they can come and enjoy as well. But yep, Coral Cove is lots of slides, but they are smaller. Obviously, they're not towering like the ones we've already seen. But they're still fun. Lots of options for all the different types of guests you might have in the park. See, now look at these fences. These ones are shorter. I don't know how I managed to do that. I'm not happy about that, but whatever. Just ignore me. Some big pools to, like I said, traditional pools to kind of splash around and play in. Oh, look at that. That guy went flying. Can I jump in the water here? We're going to see if I can jump in the water. Whee! Can jump in the water. That felt good. I needed a cool off. Let's, sorry. Hop out there and we'll continue on. Excuse me. Quick cut. You didn't need to hear me coughing. Sorry about that. The little Coral Cafe area here, which this might cause a bit of bottlenecking issues, but whatever. It's cool. I like the way it looks. But that's pretty much Coral Cove. We do have... Oh, no. It keeps going. I forgot how expansive I made this. Because this is the little play cave area. Let's go through here in the actual POV view instead of me trying to struggle through with the camera. But it's more like a splash pad kiddie pool area. You can go in the cave here and play and splash around. There's waterfalls to get wet in, and yeah, just a good time for the kids. Oh yeah, this is a lot easier than struggling through with the actual game cam, but yeah, that's the little cave. Across from us is another pool that I've got like a little island in the middle of. It'd be more like a wading pool for the adults, but it does have access to the lazy river, which I guess I'm kind of curious now. I want to see if I can do like a POV of the lazy river, because it does have the jets in it, so I'm curious to know if it'll push me around. Let's check it out. Does it do anything? Guess it doesn't do anything for me. Okay, well, we can just pretend that we're floating through the lazy river here. It's not anything crazy. The scenery's not the best, but, you know, it is what it is. You know what? I don't think we need to take a whole ride on this. So let's just hop out here. Hello, Mr. Lifeguard. Sorry, I thought I wanted to cool off in the lazy river, but I changed my mind. I want to go ride more roller coasters. Let's hop down in the water. Bloosh, and back out. And that is Coral Cove. One of these days I'll learn the structures of my park a little better. Maybe not. Whatever. Right in front of us is one of the first things I built in this park. The big drop slide. I don't know, the vertical chute slide, but that's where you would get out of those. Next to the water drop tower. Again, you've got the hotel kind of looming in the background there. Little splash pad area for the kids. Another main pool area, some burger places. Again, like, I don't really understand if this is I don't know if this is a really believable layout for a pool, sorry, for a water park, but I don't know water parks. Not going to pretend I do. I still like the way it turned out. I mean, these were for my first things I really did build in the game. So the pool here, they got the splash pool, or the wave pool, I'm sorry, over there. But we want to double back because back here is Hang 10, our final coaster of the park. It is our B&M prototype surf coaster. The first coaster I built in the park. So kind of nostalgic for me, but it looks so much better now with like the hotel behind it. It just really fills in that skyline so much cooler. Oh, I like it. But we're here at the Fast Pass lane, so let's get to it. See you back here in just a minute. All right, so there you have it. That was Hang 10, and that was our last coaster of the park tour. Um, Sorry if this tour wasn't as great as some tour videos out there, but I really had no idea what I was going to do or how I wanted to structure it going into it. But obviously the park needed some kind of finale episode. But you know, for future videos, I think I'll have a better idea of structure and how I want to do it. Um, but you know, for my first outing in YouTube and Planet Coaster building a park, this was a fun learning experience. I do want to continue doing it. Again, I want to apologize that it took so long to get the tour video out, but I ended up taking time off to do some other like real life things. And moving forward, I've decided to not really try and force myself to a schedule for Planet Coaster just because I've got other stuff that I need to get done in real life too. So from moving on, I think the videos and new series and everything will be build and release as I feel needed. Because like I said, I just can't really see myself being able to stick to a true schedule. So I hope that that's okay with everybody and that you'll continue to follow and watch as I pump videos out with new content and new parks and rides and everything to check out. So if you got this far, thank you. I hope you enjoyed the park as much as I did making it. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to put it out on the workshop. I might just for the hell of it, but you know, I haven't decided yet, but we'll see. Before I sign off, I did say that I thought about doing like a top 5 coasters in the park, which I think I'll do it, make it a thing, but I don't really have an idea or structure on how I want to do it. So for this one, I'll just tell you my 5 favorite coasters in the park. No particular order. They are Luska, our big RMC, Skybreaker, obviously the record-breaking Giga Coaster, Cowabunga, the Intamin multi-launch, Turbo Shark, and I really like Shrieking Tiki. I think those are my top 5 of the park. They were my favorites to build, and I think they're the best POVs. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. So before I keep rambling on, my name is Brad. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this series. Again, I apologize that it took longer than anticipated, but I'm happy it's done. And if you like what I've got, please make sure you hit subscribe to follow me for more. Leave a comment down below and let me know what your favorite coasters and part of the park were. And I will see you again in the future, which I did start my next build. So eventually, hopefully not too awful long out, we'll get our first episode for that because I am really excited for that one and what I'm doing in it. So let's take care, everybody. Be safe, be cool, and I'll see you around in the next one. Take care.